everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 for Academy City. Today we're going to be looking at small traffic issues and traffic flow, the different types of flow, and we'll also be looking at fulfilling our R.C.I demand. And R.C.I is your residential, commercial, and industrial, located at the bottom right corner, that green, blue, and orange bar. So we're going to focus on fulfilling that as well, which means we're going to have to expand, create new areas, and we're also going to need to zone those areas. So let's take a look at the R.C.I that we have already. Right off the bat, what I'm going to do here is name this kind of entrance and exit, and we're just gonna call it a gate. Now as we take a look, we can see that we've placed our commercial more toward the outside of the city. And the reason why we're doing this is because we don't want, unless we are preparing for it specifically, we don't want stores coming directly off our on and off ramps. It causes a lot of traffic. Cars need to get to and from to their points quickly, and they're doing it consistently. Your stores are going to cause traffic regardless, especially if they're 24 hours, and it's 24 hours that there's always going to be some kind of traffic flow coming from it. So what we're doing by putting our commercial on the outside is we're dragging the traffic and the shoppers into the city, and we're also breaking them up as they come into the city as well. Maybe less convenient for them, but at least for the city-wise, it's still flowing as such. It also gives them time to change lanes into where they actually need to go as well for the stores. And by placing our stores like we did on the left, right, and the center, what will happen is the cars coming down, we'll see it as it progresses over time. The cars coming in will divide even more. We want to use all of our lanes instead of just using one or two lanes. If we're just using one or two lanes, we're not using our roads as effectively as possible. We want all of our lanes being filled, and we want to clear as many of the cars as possible every interval of the lights changing. We want to be able to clear as many cars as possible. So let's get started with getting our residential in here. This will do okay for now, but we are getting our spike in commercial demand. Now we did put down right here our education district for the area. We do have a university. We also have our middle schools, our elementary schools and our high school as well, located right there. Now you want to keep in mind when you put down a university and the education really starts to change throughout your city, it's going to affect the different stores and your different industry places differently. If you have I'm sorry. Actually, this is actually wrong. There we go. If you have a certain uh, regular generic industry within your city, uh, a lot of those workers will tend to move out and go to work at different places, which leaves you with a gap of people leaving from that job and going to work other places because of their education level, which means you start getting a demand for workers. So one way to offset and balance that is to make sure you zone extra or have planned out space for more residents, because it's going to cause a spike in your residential demand, because people of different education levels are now moving to different jobs. But that also means that you can start putting in offices, and you can start putting in high density commercial zones. Now, the office is a great way to fill up zones. Hey, how's it going, me? Welcome back to the stream. The office is a great way to fill up those areas where you want zoning there, you want you want money being made from that area, but you don't want your industry or residential because of the noise, or commercial zones there because of the extra cause in traffic. Uh, these office zones are a great way to fill that need, if you will. And plus, it's great. It looks great for the area as well. You know, it's local jobs for people, and it services the area. But it doesn't. It causes the least amount of traffic whatsoever, and it helps fill up the zone. You earn money. Actually, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna hold on, pause. Instead, what we're going to do is place. Oh, it's not on this map. That's right. We'll put a mall in here. And we're gonna actually make sure that we face it uh, away from the main road, so that the cars coming in will actually go turn to the left and come on this back road. So we help break up traffic instead of keeping everything on that main road. The way your buildings are facing is actually very important. And then because of noise pollution's sake, we are actually going to get rid of this here. Move these people out. We'll place some local jobs. And we'll use this one for high density shops. Take this one back to lower density. The creator pack thing, I have the season pass, so I think I should be getting it regardless if they release it like that, some kind of DLC. Um, Bell thing. Huh, weird, and it still doesn't notify you? I'll try to take a look at some of my settings as well to see if there's something I might have done that might be messing with the notifications. So that I'll definitely take responsibility for that one there. But I do hope to get the creator pack soon. I do have the season pass, so we'll see. And then here you go. As you can see, the our industry is actually starting to have that worker need, like I said, because their education level is rising. They're going to different jobs. They're fulfilling different needs for different jobs. Which, and again, as you can see down there in our R.C.I, we're starting to get a spike in our residential demand. So what we'll do now is look to fulfill our residential need. Drag the rest of this road down. Um, I haven't taken a look, but I'll see after this episode. I'll check out that creator pack thing. But there was a season pass that was going on for it might have just been for a limited time, but there was a season pass definitely going for um, City Skylines. So I'll definitely take a look, and I just might get it. I just might. It sounds fun. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, that's right. We need to fulfill our residential need. So we are actually not going to build off of this like that. I think instead what we're going to do is oh. Gotta make sure we take a look and plan out exactly how things are going to end up looking. Let's see. Go in 3. Hot dog. That worked out pretty nicely. Not bad. So what we're gonna look at planning on doing over here is making this higher density residential. just might put a road down through the middle, but we'll see. Hey, how's it going, Julio? Welcome to the stream, man. New feature on the... Really? So it looks like PC version that lets you landscape? That's kind of cool. A tree brush, yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Sean is here too. What's up, Sean? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Glad you guys can definitely make it. We are in the middle of our zone fulfillment here, and now that our residential is starting to take off, we're going to balance it out with the rest of our industry demand over here. So we're going to bring in some more clean industry with forestry. We want to be careful and try to take our time a little bit with actually satisfying the demand. We don't want to just we don't want to overdo our industrial or our commercial, because you can run into problems in the long run. And it looks like we are actually in the need of garbage too in the middle of this. So we'll turn a couple of garbage trucks back here to help meet that demand. And we'll counteract them with one of those. With the brush, yeah. I wouldn't mind a tree brush, because I do have to, this industry over here for the trees was all self-done. I had to do every single one of those. But it works. They're all exporting. I think some of them over here, some of these are actually importing. Nope, all exports. Which means we're all just selling it, which is good. That's what we want. If we have to import for some reason, then of course we'll be spending money, turning a profit a little bit later on, but we'll be spending mostly, depending on what it is, of course, that we're actually doing. So as our R.C.I. is continuing to come in, you can start to see how it drops, and we're getting our R.C.I. for our demand for our residential is not there, non-existent, and that's because we're already fulfilling the need for it currently. And now you see the same thing is happening to our industrial at the same time, which means we have plenty of zoning, and the two are growing with each other. We know that we have more residential over here that can still be met, and they're going to need jobs and need to be grown in. So that's how we know that we have more industry that we can definitely pop in. But once we start seeing these notifications, we're going to hold on for a minute and let it balance out. Once you start seeing this, as you're putting down the industry, they're coming in too fast. Your industry is coming in a little bit too fast. You got to give your residential a little bit of time to catch up. So as that's happening, let's take a look at our traffic. So right here off of this gate, we can already see that this is one of our most used routes currently. And they are going all the way inside, and they're heading to the commercial industries over here. No problem, me. And that's a big thing of that traffic too. As you can see there, that is what we want to see though. We want to see all those lanes being used. That's good. All those lanes being used. Let's take a look down at our at the rest of our industry down here. I mean, not industry, our rest of our commercial. we can start to see that our 6-lane road down here is actually starting to turn its color, being used more often. But also all the lanes are being used down here as well, which means we're condensing all the traffic that comes off it the best we can. We still have plenty of room for commercial. We're going to keep it low density commercial still, because this city itself is not built for higher density uh, commercial. It's gonna pull in too much traffic, and these roads are not prepared for that. But it's just well enough done to where they can disperse the traffic well enough, evenly. What we're gonna have to end up eventually doing is creating our own section of a city that's largely composed of residential mostly. That's what we'll have to end up doing. That's why we're trying to just do low density, and we're saving a good chunk of our commercial demand for when we start putting in that higher density commercial zones for that specialized city for commercial, that big downtown shopping, if you will. I kind of want to turn this into turn that into that. That commercial demand is really sticking out. This residential is almost done filling up. Still holding out on that commercial, but eventually it's gonna force us to put some down. Well, let's check how our traffic is actually handling first before we decide to put any more commercial areas down. See how it's behaving. Notice that large amount of traffic going off and making that, what, left-hand turn? Let's see if we can identify what kind of people. Seniors, adults, citizens. No. We want to look at what kind. Of drivers these are. Oh. So we got a couple of tourists. $48. But does that mean everybody else is a resident? Or are they coming for shopping? This guy following this little blue car because I'm trying to identify the Belmont residents. So he's going home. Industry demand is still spiking. What we're doing right now is we're trying to identify what kind of people are coming off that highway the most. Are they just straight shoppers, or is it mostly residential residents? Tourists, basically, because even the residents themselves are actually technically shoppers. The traffic is actually breaking up very nicely over here. Still hard on the left and right, but the middle lane is being used. Hello, me. Welcome back. We're now going to put our generic in. Regular industrial zone, but I am looking for this. We're gonna get rid of this though. And actually, what we're gonna do is put down park to help break that up. Yeah, this is a super foggy morning. Gee whiz. Commercial demand still spiking. We're actually gonna need some fire out this way. Yeah. Yep. Let's get it to where they're actually going on a straight shot inside, and we'll get rid of the way they're facing is very important, because that's the way that they'll hit the road going that way, and then they get their opportunity to go, you know, whichever way the fire is, instead of sending them in the opposite direction starting out. All those level ups. And we are going to need our commercial sooner than later. So everything is still growing. Our traffic is actually still flowing uh, very nicely, and we have no major issues. What we are going to do as a final touch to keep it flowing, nicely or smoothly, is we're going to add in road maintenance depots. No room. No room. But there's room here. So we'll drop those two in there. And they're actually going to do exactly what I know they're going to do. Hit the interstate, or hit the highway system, and go straight out to the rest of the county, or the rest of your city. Oh yeah, this is technically just a city. But this, we will have to address and fix. Because as you can see, all of these cars on this hard side right here, on that hard right lane trying to get out. If we can find a way to give them an alternate route to prevent this from actually getting any worse, that would be ideal. However, if we don't even if we stop building so much on this side and zoning so much on this side, this problem will stay as it is. But as you can see, it is still flowing. It is still moving though. But we don't want our service vehicles like this locked up in traffic. That is what we don't want. And that's the reason why your traffic is definitely an issue, because it can cause issues everywhere else. So we'll have to fix and address this traffic issue. Well, that will do it for this episode. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching the episode 2 of the Academy City. Episode 3, we'll be doing traffic touch-ups for the first time, and we'll also be studying how to create an entire commercial sector and the different ways how that causes traffic in its own, a downtown, if you will. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a really good episode in terms of the first couple of steps of learning how to deal and manage with traffic in your city. So do stay up to date. Subscribe to get the live updates as well if you want to join in and watch the stream live and get your questions answered, or leave your questions in the comment section below, and I'll definitely try to get them into the episodes. Haha, and my mom is calling at the same time. And I just finished. Hello, mother. Yes.